Hi, you are listening to the Father Support Network podcast. This podcast is for single fathers and fathers in general. On this podcast, we educate, inform, guide, encourage, and help fathers navigate the complex challenges of maintaining contact and healthy relationships with their children after separation or divorce. Your host is Dr. Michael Nwankpa. Michael Nwankpa is a father of three who successfully fought for the right of his children to have their father in their lives.
Hello and happy Friday. Well, like I say, all the time it looks like we record on Fridays, isn't it? It's just coincidental. But I want to touch on something very important, and it's just put a price on yourself. What I mean is this: you need to value yourself. You need to know your worth, is what I'm trying to say. And I'm saying this based on certain events that have happened in my life, but also certain events that I've seen. And I'll start off with a case of a rapper from Memphis in America named Pooh Shiesty. He's just been released from prison. I think it's been just maybe it's been 6 months, and he's still got the ankle monitor. And he's signed to another big rapper called Gucci Mane. But he wanted out of that contract, and in fact the only way he could do it is to violate his parole, left the city where he's not supposed to live, went all the way to out in Texas with his dad and some of the friends, and basically uh, tried to hold Gushman hostage, and forced him on gunpoint, I believe, to release, sign a contract to release him, and he's now on the custody, and might be going back. They say there's mounting evidence against him that could send him back. But let's look at the dad. The dad was there. The dad that is also a gangster. So what am I saying? I tie that into me. I've had recent uh unsavory uh kind of event with people that I would call some very close, some family, some friends, some distant friends, friends of friends. And uh, I've refused to come down to a certain level where some people want to draw you into a low level, and they want to draw you to a level where they want you to have scuffle, they want you to start throwing vitros, they want you to start at what age, at what point in life you want to think that you build yourself, that I've built myself to this level to trade all the way on what? Listen, I'm not a gangster. I'm not a street guy, but I'm an intellectual gangster, if there's anything like that. Because you gotta move in a certain way, and you gotta understand situation, you gotta be able to read the room. And I'm happy that I'm blessed with that. That's what I'm saying. Because I've got kids that I've spoken with my kids this evening, lovely kids. They were I need to be alive for them. I need to plan a future that's ahead. I want them to be proud of me. I want them to be able to look me up. I want them to be able to see what I'm doing. I want them to be able to help them. There are many ways we can set. I've never seen any child, grandchildren of Adolf Hitler. I've never seen, a good name is better. You set up a good name, you do some stuff that is going to help your kids move forward. And as having said this, my son came to me in the school, and they get to a certain age where kids are talking about their parents, and the kids in the class have gone to one way Google my name, and the father say, "Oh, your dad is on Google, your dad is on this and that, and that gives them pride." That is what I'm saying. But back to the matter at hand. There are people that are in your life. They could unfortunately can be family members. They could be spouses, and they have no good intention towards you. They're laughing with you. You might have known them for ages, but they don't have that time when things when little things happen. Then you see the extent in which they go, the things they say. It tells you, reveals their real character. And I've been in situations where I'm not even talking to them, I'm talking even many years ago, 20 years ago, where you're in the midst of supposed friends and you could see the energy, you could see that there's been some plan among these people. It looks like some Brutus stuff is good, like when they betray Caesar, and you could see it. And I read the energy and I'm like, okay, I need to move intellectually. But this is what I want to say as well. You know, especially in America, all the street guys, when they say I'm a street guy, and they say you don't use the police, you don't utilize the police, that is dumb. Because you do all those things, you pay your tax. You could go to jail for tax evasion. Now, what's happened to Bushmaster now? He's in custody. The police can come get you. You can't be bigger than the state. So what I'm saying in essence is, if there's a situation where you should call the police. All this nonsense about you don't snitching. I don't believe in all that bullshit. That is bullshit. Having said that, you cannot be in a situation. You get to a certain level in life. You make a family, and I've seen so many kids that the father is not coming back. The mom is the mothers are not coming back because they've gone prison for many years for some stupid stuff that they could just walk away from, for some stupid stuff that they could just do the right thing. So if I'm placed in a situation where somebody is aggressive, where somebody is trying to harm you, you need to ask why. So then get into his comfort. So I'm a man at the end of the day, and men don't get into too much talk. Like when it's going, then it's gonna go physical. It's gonna be violence. It's gonna be all of that. And you live in a sane society. You live in a place where it's there's a structure. There's a process of addressing conflict. But you choose to go physical. You choose to go with threat. So what I'm saying is, let's look beyond. Let's look at the big picture. Let's look at the big picture. We're raising families, but we need to be alive for the families. I know people that I know personally that have families, but they're in prison because stupidity, just stupid stuff, just stupid ego. And say my ego, you said this to me, da 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 da, and then you're gonna act in a certain way and lose yourself. It could also be in another aspect within the context of relationship. You're in a relationship that is toxic. You don't need to be in there. Leave. Because I mean, that's a sad story that's just come today where a man has been jailed because the man so much abused um the spouse or the partner that led the partner to jump off the bridge. And he's been jailed. I don't want to be in a situation where he's violent, where he's physical violent, even if it's verbal assault. You don't need to be in there. You don't need to take that because it could lead, you could just snap. And, this is what it takes for people to snap. And you could just be a little push, you hit someone and then a life is gone. That's a mother's lost a child, or you've lost your life in the process. You've left you've made your children, you've made them fatherless. There's no point in that. So you need to be able to read situation and find a way, find legal means as it is, legal means to deal with stuff. And like I say it again, a man that can't control his emotions, that is not a man. He should be able to control emotions. If it's anger, if it's control and deal with it. If he cannot communicate and being able to sort things out in a matured way, in a responsible way, then it's just such a shame. But all I'm saying is put a price on yourself. And I go back to what I mean by that. Now, if you're in a place, if you're in a relationship, if you're with someone, if you're with friends and they don't value your words, someone undermines you, or someone has a low view of you, perceives you poorly, or person talks poorly about you to others, you need to remove yourself from that. Listen, there's no amount of dependency on this person. They could be whoever to you. If someone doesn't respect you, you need to remove yourself from that. That's where integrity comes. That's when you need to. That's First of all, if you know me deeply, I'm a man of my words. If I give you my words, that's why I hardly we give him a word. I give him a word. That is what it is. Things could happen. We're human beings. We live in the world of uncertainty. But I often try my best to, and I'll hold myself accountable when I'm wrong. I say, okay, I faulted here. We could settle this amicably. But I don't see myself at this point that I've got into get into physical scuffles. I don't just see that unless for self-defense, unless it's one that is inevitable and someone I'm placed in a tight corner where I need to defend myself. I would definitely defend myself. I will. I'm not a coward. But listen, I'd rather let the authorities deal with it. So, well, it's a shame. It's a shame that human beings are human beings, but some situations happen and reveal who people are. Sometimes they're friends that you have forever, they're family members that you're gonna go forever, go the long hallway. But there are some that unfortunately they're just for a season, and that's what it is. And you just have to keep it moving. But I end with this. My mom says something. The powerful man is not the man that's got strength, that's got the physical strength. It's not the bully. That's not the power. The powerful man is the wise man that knows when to retreat, that knows when to keep quiet, that knows when to leave. That's how they say, leave to fight another day. That's how they say. So fathers out there, in a situation, okay, find yourself in a position, learn how to act wise, learn how to remember that you don't live for yourself alone, you live for others. If it's possible for you in any situation you are, you know, apply the legal means. There are legal processes, legal process. Fortunately we live in an environment where there's structures, there are structures and things work to a certain level. Deploy those means and don't put yourself in a situation. Don't take law into your hands. Don't don't just get into a place where you're being locked up forever. You lose an arm, you lose an eye, you lose your life. It's not worth it. Anyways, I'll leave you at that and I wish you a happy weekend.